You know that feeling when you're scrolling through car ads and one just jumps out. It looks tidy, the price is low, and the seller reckons it just needs a bit of TLC. You start thinking, have I just found the bargain of the year? But here's the truth, the price on the advert is only the beginning. What really drains your wallet are the costs that come afterwards, and most buyers don't think about them until it's too late. In this video, I'll walk you through 3 of the biggest hidden ownership costs using a real story from one of my own cars, so you know exactly what to watch out for. Let's start with the biggest one, repairs. I've been there myself. I once bought a BMW for £750. At the time, I thought I'd done well, a bit of German quality, plenty of life left in it, and the price of a half-decent mountain bike. But the reality hit fast. Before I even got to the timing chain job, I'd already spent close to £2,000 on repairs. £2,000. That's nearly 3 times what I paid for the car in the first place. And the thing is, none of it was exotic. It was the usual stuff, suspension arms, sensors, little faults here and there. The kind of things you only find once you start living with the car. I had to learn a lot, fix some bits myself, and swallow some painful garage bills. And here's the funny part, I do actually love that BMW. It's miles nicer now that I've fixed so much on it. But even after all that work, it still finds ways to break. That's the reality of running a cheap car. It can give you some great moments, but it'll keep testing your patience and your wallet. And it's not just BMWs. Even a small hatchback can sting you. Something like a clutch replacement can run anywhere from £600 to £1,200, depending on the garage. That's the same ballpark as what a lot of people spend buying the car. So if you're going in thinking, well, it was only £1,500, how bad can it be? Trust me, you need to budget for repairs. Because when they hit hard. Now, let's talk fuel. There's this idea that smaller engines always mean cheaper running costs. Buyers will say, it's only a 1.6, it'll be cheap to run. But that's not always true. Take a mid-2000s Ford Focus 1.6 petrol. On paper, you might expect it to be frugal. But in real day-to-day driving, you're looking at around 30 miles per gallon. Compare that with a newer 2-litre diesel that can push 50 to 60 miles per gallon, and suddenly the so-called cheap petrol car is costing you more every time you fill up. And when you're on a tight budget, those fuel stops aren't just annoying, they add up. A car that drinks more than you expect can quietly drain your wallet month after month. And then there's tax and the annual M.O.T. test, the sneaky ones that buyers often forget. Road tax, for example. Plenty of older cars fall into the higher bands. A 2008 Focus with the wrong engine will set you back more than £380 a year in tax. That's before insurance, before fuel, before anything else. And the M.O.T. test? That's the great leveler. Around a third of cars fail their M.O.T. first time, and the average bill to put them right is around £200 to £300. But that's only the average. If it's suspension, rust, or brakes, the bill can easily jump into 4 figures. The most common failures, tires, lights, suspension, are exactly the sort of things older cheap cars struggle with. So even if the car itself only cost you £1,000, you could easily be looking at a few hundred just to keep it legal each year. So here's the bottom line. The hidden ownership costs most buyers miss are repairs that can cost as much as, or even more than, the car itself. Fuel economy that looks fine on paper but drinks more in real life. And road tax and M.O.T. bills that quietly stack up in the background. That's why a cheap car isn't always cheap. You've got to look past the advert and think about what comes next, because if you don't, you could end up like I did with that BMW. A bargain on day one, but a slow drain on the bank account afterwards. In the next video of this series, we'll go even deeper and talk about the 2025 tax and policy changes that are going to hit drivers' wallets. And some of them might surprise you. If you found this useful, check out my video on how to spot a good used car deal before it's gone. I'll link it at the end.